Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, and if you are new, then welcome. My name is Kirsten and I am a mum of one. I'm actually a mum of a nearly 1-year-old. Oh my gosh. If you have been watching my channel for a while, you will know that I have a little girl and her name is Maddison, and it's been dawning on me last sort of few weeks, I think, that she's sort of not a baby anymore. She's nearly 1, and there's lots of different things that I've sort of been thinking about, and I sort of thought about my most recent issue. Let's call it an issue. I don't know if you can see them. You might not be able to see them. These little baby hair growths. See if I can see. There you go. Yeah, you can see them. And it got me thinking about things I didn't know before I had a baby. Before I had a baby. So I thought I would share with you 5 things that I didn't know before having a baby, and I definitely know them now, and I thought I would impart my, I was going to say wisdom, knowledge. Let's go with knowledge, because I don't think I'm quite able to say that I'm wise about being a mum. I've only been a mum for about 11 months, so yes, let's get into it. Number 1 is 3rd day baby blues. I did not know that was a thing, and they hit me pretty hard, because when you are pregnant they tell you to look out for the signs of postnatal depression, which is, you know, they tell you all the warning signs and what to look out for, and you know, those kinds of things. But I totally didn't know that having a bit of baby blues was a thing on the 3rd day, or day 3, and it hit me pretty hard. I had a really, I guess, rough night with Maddison after I had her, not necessarily the birth part, but the just having a newborn part. And I remember the morning of day 3, I was really mopey and my milk was starting to come in. I know it's a bit TMI, but if you've had a child, you know that's quite painful. And I think just in general, like, your hormones are all over the place, and yeah, I was like really like, oh my god, I don't know if I can do this. Am I being a really crap mum? Keep in mind, I've been a mum to a child on the outside for less than 3 days, like literally it was the morning of day 3. So yeah, I totally didn't know that was a thing, and you know, my husband was really comforting. He was like, it's okay, it's okay, and that's totally great that I had him. But I can imagine if you didn't know that was coming and then it hits you, it literally hits you like a brick wall to the face. Like it wasn't like a build up or anything, it just sort of happened. So yes, I thought I would share that 3rd day post-birth, post-delivery baby blues is a thing, and I wish I knew. I definitely know for next time, which is good. But yes, just so you're aware, just it's normal. It's completely normal, and I realized it was normal when I went to see the physio that day, like for a little how to deal with a cesarean, how to deal with life after a cesarean, I think, something like that, with the physio. And she was like, oh, you're like 3rd day post-delivery, have you had your cry yet? And I was like, a cry? And she was like, you know, bit of light baby blues. And I was like, yeah, this morning I felt really, really down and really sad, because I thought I was being a really crap mum. And she was like, yeah, that's completely normal. And I was like, phew, happy. So yeah, that's the first thing. The next thing is, if you're a bloke, you probably don't want to, this might not be for you, it's not really a thing for you, but for the mums out there, the next thing is when your milk comes in, the engorgement. Oh my gosh, I was not expecting it to be that, I want to say bad. They literally went, sorry for the TMI, but like this to like this, like, oh my gosh. I was prepared that obviously when your milk comes in, you go up in sizes. So I bought like nursing bras, you know, sort of 2 and 3 cup sizes bigger than what I was when I was pregnant. And obviously I gained size when I was pregnant, and then I thought if I buy a couple of sizes bigger, that'd be great. They didn't even go near me. My chest region was so engorged from my milk coming in, and literally the midwives were like, if you don't take that bra off, I'm going to cut it off. You need to take it off because you're going to give yourself a blocked duck. And I was like, oh my God. And I literally probably didn't get to wear those bras until my milk had sort of settled down, and that was sort of like 6 to 8 weeks after I had Maddison, which just blew my mind. And in the category of engorgement is letdown. So when your milk first comes in and you're super engorged, letdown is really, really, really painful. And I am so lucky that when my milk came in and was coming in the early hours of that morning and day 3, a midwife had come in to check in on me, and she'd said like, when you are ready to feed Maddison, which actually she just said the baby because we hadn't named her then, call a midwife and we'll help you latch because it'll be different. And it was really good because the midwife that I had who helped me feed Maddison for the first time, once my milk had really come in, had warned me that the letdown was going to hurt for 30 to 60 seconds. I'm a firm believer that knowledge is key, and like knowing ahead is just makes it easier. So like the example I give is when I had my epidural, is they warned me it'll feel like your left leg is got an electric shock going through it, so don't move because there's a needle in your back. And because I knew that was going to happen, and it did, I was prepared. And it's exactly the same as when I had to feed for the first time after my milk had come in. That letdown was I'm not going to say that word. It really, really hurt, and it stung and it burned. And then once you got through like the 30 to 60 seconds, it was fine. Like it was a little painful because you're inflamed is a good word to describe it. Inflamed. So yeah. And in the category of letdown, once you sort of have a couple of days of your milk being in, it's just your letdown. Like it sounds awful, but literally can like drown your child. It goes everywhere. And I found that I had the other side letdown. When I was feeding Maddison or pumping from one side, the other side would let down. And not just like a trickle, like that's wastage. And after a while I was like, I can't waste that. But yes, so that's one thing I definitely did not know before having a baby, is anything about how engorged I was going to be, and just in general letdown, like that it was painful and then it's got a mind of its own essentially. It's weird. Very, very weird, but yes, that's something I didn't know before having a baby. Number 3 was a weird one, surprisingly. Not surprisingly, just it's a bit different. So people say, you know, when other people have kids and you have like nieces or friends with kids, it's like, oh, it's like having a baby, and then you get to hand them back. But the funny thing is, once you have a child of your own, which I, you know, have wanted for a very long time, I never considered that as soon as I hear Maddison like fuss or cry, like I kind of want you to hand my kid back to me. Like I want to comfort my child. I don't like my child being stressed or distressed or uncomfortable, or just in general. Like I'm sure that sounds very like mollycoddling of your child, but it's that weird thing of, instead of like handing a child back when they're crying, it's like you as the parent, at least in my experience, I want people to give my child back to me. Like if my child's like reaching for me now, like if someone else is holding her and she's like holding her arms out going, Mum, not that she can say mum yet, but gesturing at me, like I don't want you to try and comfort my child. I kind of want you to hand my kid back. So yeah, that was something I wasn't expecting and didn't know before I had a kid, but like I can't stand to hear her cry, and not because it's annoying, because it's heartbreaking. I don't want her to be upset. So yes, that's something I didn't know about before I had a baby. Number 4 is an interesting one, and totally didn't know this, and it is that babies need to learn how to nap and how to fall asleep. So I sort of understood the concept of falling asleep, but didn't understand like napping and napping in their own bed. And I quickly learned this when Ryan went back to work after 6 weeks. I had to obviously learn to do things on my own, and I was wanting to put Maddison down for a nap in her bassinet so I could do things, basic things like feed myself and have a shower and, you know, washing, that kind of stuff. And she didn't know how to do that at 6 weeks old, and that was quite an eye-opener. I didn't realize, like, I totally got the whole, they eventually need like a, you know, bedtime routine and that helps them go to sleep, but the concept of napping, like, I just assumed you fed your kid and put them down and they went to sleep. But the whole idea is that they need to learn how to be able to fall asleep, and eventually they need to be able to learn to fall asleep without being fed to sleep, which is what you sort of do in the early days. But yeah, the whole concept of, like, I just assumed babies napped and they don't. So yeah. And a bonus one, if you have made it this far in the video, of things I didn't know before having a baby, is I didn't know that your heart could be so full. There isn't a fuller heart anywhere than the heart of a parent. Like, your heart literally just, I shouldn't say literally, but you just explodes. So they're the 5 things I didn't know before I had a baby. I hope you enjoyed it and learned something new. If there's something you didn't know before having a baby, let me know down in the comments. I'd be interested to find out what you didn't know. And yeah, if you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up, and if you're new around here, I would love to have you stick around and join our family. So don't forget to subscribe, and hopefully I will see you in the next one. Bye guys.
About to leave, already packing. Come with me, I'm not really asking. We'll get away to a place where we don't know.